Welcome to Northwoods Renaissance. You've been farting around trying to figure out how fast you can get your wife going on her cross-country skis pulling her behind your snowmobile. I've been doing my homework on these 3 challenge coins from the USS Chicago, SSN 721. Today we're going to have a look at the design elements of these coins. I'll talk a little bit about the history of them, when and by whom they were likely awarded by, and I'll also share one of my favorite stories about working with the Chicago. I received 2 Chicago Challenge coins on a day in which the crew members of the Lake Erie and the Chicago were both working with me, and each strove to outdo the last, so I got 2 coins from each. These 3 coins are a trio of loaners. The original 2 that I received went to my nephews when they were in grade school. They're currently in college, so that puts a rough date on what time I received them. And then the Lake Erie was hot because it had shot down a satellite around the same time. So that means I received them sometime after 2008. Just so you can picture what we're dealing with, I've got a silver dollar here that I'll put down for scale. The one on the right is almost perfect match for that thing, and the middle obviously is slightly larger, as is the one on the left. All 3 share very similar front designs, so we'll zoom in on the largest of them and explore that a little more deeply. Pretty basic stuff. We've got USS Chicago, the wave, word Chicago spelled out to look like a 688, Windy City, and then the hull number, SSN 721. And this is not their badge. You'll see the design in these oval shapes, and Chicago's is much more traditional looking than what you're seeing here. This is more of a, I guess if the Chicago were a sports team, this is what would be on their jersey, right? So let's zoom back out and get a look at the flip side. So the coin on the left, and this is one of the older models, was awarded by the commanding officer. And again, this wasn't my original coin, so I'm not sure the context of that. And apparently he went cheap and didn't have his name put on there to personalize it. Based on the more subdued design elements on this coin, it's likely from the era in which one of my favorite interactions with the Chicago occurred. It came to my attention that the commanding officer of the Chicago would not allow any other ice cream varieties but chocolate and vanilla on board. And if there was strawberry ice cream, it would be sent back, and I got a hold of 2 gallons of that for my personal use because, as I found out years later, he had grown up, and this is all anecdotal, of course, he had grown up on a strawberry farm and could not stand the smell of strawberries. And if he wasn't going to enjoy them, I guess everybody was going to pay, and the moral of that story is it's good to be the king. Our center Chicago coin is also commanding officer model, and you can see they've spruced up the borders on it a little bit and gone with some color, and following in the Chicago tradition of commanding officers, apparently he also is quite frugal and did not bother to personalize it. And our final coin, and when I read the name on here, which I blocked for you guys, but I inspected it, I realized I knew the individual that had been given by. I believe he was the chief of the boat at one time, and I had the pleasure of working with him just as he was transitioning out of the Navy. And for those of you who served on the Chicago, possibly with him, he had a penchant for cargo shorts and Chuck Taylors. So that'll probably give it away. And as is often seen on the Chief of the Boat coins, we've got the Chief, Senior Chief, and Master Chief logos. Well, there you have it, folks. A nice, short, succinct trip down memory lane. And we got to enjoy challenge coins from the USS Chicago, SSN 721.